Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Screen Chronicles. I'm Steve, and with me, as always, is Sir Arlen Pennytree, Colby, and today we are talking A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, probably season 1, but so far the only series out. We're going to give a review, do a spoiler talk, kind of recap, talk about our favorite moments and stuff. If you want to jump to the spoiler section or see how long the review is, timestamps below, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Sir Arlen, what do you think?
This is I can't remember the last time I've been this excited for an episode for a show to come out on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Super stoked about how this first season went. Going in with not many expectations. I hadn't read the book that the series is based on. Yeah, I think I will after. I have a sense that they're going to make more seasons. This was such a success, I would say. And I think, I'm going to say something very strong, and I said it as soon as I saw it. I think it might have the best episode of any series I've watched, singular episode, in my opinion.
It's up there.
It's up there. And clearly a lot of people thought the same because that episode was like rated 10 out of 10, tying a Breaking Bad episode for a short time before some fan sabotage happened. We can talk about that later. But overall, super thrilled about this show. What did you think, Steve?
I thought it was great. This takes place a long time before Game of Thrones. Not super long, though. Kind of I think we're going to start to see the setup for how the Targaryens aren't the ruling faction anymore. But it's after House of Dragon. So after the Targaryens have come and after there's no more dragons left in the world. This wasn't really on my radar. I was kind of like, well, it looks kind of cool. It's about tall, big guy knight. You know, that's up my alley. Right. But Game of Thrones, final season was terrible. Second season of House of Dragon, I couldn't tell you anything other than I remember twins fought in it. It was so boring. And so I was just like, whatever. Yeah. And I just had nothing on one night. And I was like, yeah, I'll see what it looks like. And I don't know how else to put it. I think everyone else felt the same way. Game of Thrones
really lost steam. Like I felt like the Game of Thrones fandom.
Yeah.
I thought with House of Dragon, although I did like the first season and I like some of the characters.
Loved the first season.
Epic moments. And by the way, the new trailer has gotten me a little bit more excited about the next season of it.
Oh, I didn't even know it was out.
Yep. But yeah, I felt like the sort of the steam and the excitement for just the Game of Thrones universe had been subdued quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
going into this,
I
feel like this show has kind of restored a lot of it. In my opinion, you know?
I'm definitely more interested in Westeros again.
Yeah.
And it's really about this guy who's a knight, going to a tournament, and he's just a good guy. And that's what I liked about it was, and why I had trouble. I remember when I first saw Game of Thrones before it got bad, it was well written and everything, but I was just like, right, well, who's the hero? Who do I like in this? Because everyone's just kind of terrible. And then eventually it was Jon Snow. Once Jon Snow started doing cool stuff, I was hooked. And that's why the second season of House of Dragons for me, I just wasn't into. Everyone was kind of terrible. Everyone's like, well, look at their point of view. They've got this. I'm like, all right, well, everyone's kind of terrible. I'm not into it. But this guy is obviously, he's a good guy. You know, I loved the flashback where you get to see Sir Arlen, who trained him, is not the most conventional good guy, but apparently the way Dunk talks about it, he was just an honorable guy, didn't care about praise or anything. He just cared about what was doing was right. And it's so
an interesting character to break down, I think. Sir Arlen of Pennytree.
He really is something. He's you, man. He's like, I mean, the first time I like you see all of them in episode 2, I was like, that's Colby, man. That's Colby.
We're not no. But can we going off that though?
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the tone that this show sets? Because it's brought in not only do we now have a true character to follow, but it's also brought in like a sense of comedy that I think you might have had a little bit more of that in early Game of Thrones. But now it's like truly thrown in some like shock value comedy, like in the opening sequence of the show when you have Sir Dunk burying Sir Pennytree. It's super emotional. He's like kind of setting a creed for himself, looking at the sky. The music starts coming in, and then he just takes a crap. I mean, it's the most unexpected way for a show to start. And
Yeah.
it just sets the tone.
Well, I have to say the tone kind of evolves through the show. Because
For sure.
it starts out, it's kind of more comedic, lighthearted. It's not like that annoying Marvel humor though.
No.
But yeah, there's definitely humor that feels appropriate though. And like the character himself kind of brings it on because he's just like such an earnest good guy.
He's not the most brilliant guy in the world.
Everyone says it. I don't think he's dumb.
No, I wouldn't say he's dumb, but he's
I think
also
he's
not.
just naive because he grew up like in the countryside, basically, just going around to listening to this guy about like being good, and they would just go where they were needed. They'd help people. They'd leave. They'd sleep under trees. He's simple. He's simple.
He's simple. He's simple.
And that's something that's the big thing I love about this show. It's still the Game of Thrones world where everyone's kind of awful, but then there's this guy who's so good, and he just cannot wrap his head around like, wait a minute, but he promised he would do that. Why is he not doing that? Why is he not helping us at this last minute? That doesn't make, he just can't even process or like when people are being mean to him. And you can tell some people who, like some of the characters that you assume they've probably been jaded by the Game of Thrones world. And when they see his earnest honesty and goodness, it kind of makes them bring out more of their goodness. And
well, when we think about it though,
that's what I love. I just love that so much because I feel like everything in the past, like since like COVID times, everything is like trying to be like take like the Dark Knight, Game of Thrones, and like try and put it into everything. Everyone's kind of gray, everyone's kind of bad. And I've just been so annoyed with that kind of stuff. So I just love this and seeing other people. It's not just Dunk is good. He makes other people go, oh yeah, I can be good too.
Yeah.
And I love that.
When you think of Game of Thrones and you think of House of Dragon and all the content we've received from the Westeros world, all the main characters that we follow are usually people of some kind of royal birth, some kind of higher status. This is the first time we really get to follow somebody of low status in the world of Westeros. A squire who has no claim to basically anything, and he basically has to lie to even join a tournament to say he's a knight. You know,
did he lie? Did he lie?
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. But it's awesome to see, and I think that you can connect to that a lot more. And the big reason that I can connect, I'm sure that you can also connect to Sir Dunk, Steve, is that like every moment that this guy is presented with food of any kind, he is just gonna devour it. He walks into a bar and she's like, "Do you want option A or option B?" He's like, "Both." And that's something like I can really connect with. But no,
I love that, man. I love that. When he's like, "Are you hungry?" Always. He's just eating there, just going around eating. I'm like, I've literally been that guy. I've literally been that guy at parties.
He just goes to a party, just starts eating all the things that are like out. I love that. And no, but really, it's cool to follow somebody like that who's navigating like that. And then later on, you get the flashback scene when he's younger and an orphan in the streets of that town. I forget the name of the town. And I don't know if you ever like read the book Crispin.
What's that? No.
It's a medieval times set book where I used to love the book as a kid, but it just puts you in the world, and he has to kind of like, it's an adventure that he's on, and he's like in the city hiding from the guards, and that's pretty much like what it felt like in that scene for me, following this orphan who like lives under these buildings like in this hole under the
Yeah, I think he
structure
was
and
in.
just surviving. It was
He
pretty
lived
sweet.
under a hole in like a goat stable, is what I
Yeah.
think it was. Because I was trying to pay attention this time. I was like, how does no one know they're living under like their house? And I noticed when he was coming out, he was petting this goat. So I'm like, they probably live under this animal stable, so no one's ever looking at the floor in there. You know?
Yeah. No, I just like getting that perspective on a sort of a fantasy world or a medieval fantasy world.
Yeah, we got to see a different side of Westeros than we normally do, but still we get those cool epic moments. We get to see some of the higher ups. We get to see the Targaryens, and that's one of the things too. Is even though there's comedy, especially in the first 3 episodes or so, I feel like there's a big turning point. Like I think it was episode 3 or 4, when one of the royalty people snaps and Dunk just goes in to save the day. And I feel like that's when you're like, oh, that's right. We're in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I think from then on, there's a few moments they still played up some laughs. It still takes itself serious and it still gives gravitas. Some of like my coolest night moments that we've seen that I can remember seeing in, I don't know how long, man, happened in the show. And I just love that they did that. They didn't have to break it down and make a joke of it afterwards or skip it entirely just for another freaking joke. They still took things very serious and
also
gravitas, man.
There are a ton of little Easter eggs and details riddled throughout that connect to House of Dragon or connect to Game of Thrones too.
Yeah.
You know, like you could say this show, you could definitely say you don't need to watch the other ones to enjoy this show. And you don't.
And you probably shouldn't watch the other.
No, come on. But if you are a true fan of the Westeros world, you get a ton of cool Easter eggs, things that connect to the other shows if you want to read into those. So that's really cool too, what I like about this show. And I like to I think just as time goes on, my attention span is decreasing in the age of social media.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have like a short, although I want more episodes, there's no doubt, but like a short, like 6 episode season, like 30-minute episode, like.
And that's what everyone.
Like a lot happened though, like in each episode.
Everyone complained about the lengthy episodes, which I think is really just from like just showing you want more. But I literally watched the whole first season again last night in preparation for this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it took me like 2 or 3 hours to get. I mean, it's like a movie that they just broke up. But yeah, I remember when it was first coming out, I first saw the first 2 or 3 episodes. The way you're able to watch it in just like a sitting, you would think the episodes then would feel incomplete or really unsatisfying. But at least the way I watched it, or I saw the first 3 in a row and then one at a time after that. I mean, I thought it was fine. You know, one thing too, everyone was talking about there was a smaller budget compared to Game of Thrones or whatever, but I loved seeing the behind the scenes and like they just put in a lot of effort to make it cool. And we were talking before we got podcasting here about Lord of the Rings and the behind the scenes for that. And I don't know if it's this. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's the same level as that, but it's just cool seeing people. Like it's cool just hearing about like you can tell it's like a English blue collar guy talking about how he's getting stuff set up and people are just passionate. They tried hard.
Well, I think there's a difference when actors and set people and they look at it more of a job instead of the art that they're creating.
Yeah.
And I think that does happen in the television world where it's just like an actor's like, oh, this is just a role, you know. But like then you get these guys and you watch the interviews with the main characters of the show, and you could see like what they put into it. You could see like how much care they had for it. I mean, the video, by the way, we've talked a lot about how, you know, some people make excuses for kid actors. When maybe a kid actor doesn't do well. We talked about it in the Obi-Wan show. We didn't really like the performance of the girl. And I'd be like, oh, it's a kid. Well, if this doesn't prove to you that there are some unbelievable
he was so good
acting performances from kids. Egg, played by Dexter Solancel. We may be looking at a future star here. This kid was unreal.
He was so good.
Playing Egg. And he filmed this show when he was 9 years old. That's that's insane. And he didn't have one performance in the show that was unconvincing.
Mm-mm.
And far on the opposite end of the spectrum, so many of his scenes were like so memorable, so inspiring at times even, you know.
Yeah.
When he got the role, there's a video of him getting the role,
Oh yeah.
and you see how much it means to him, just tears flowing. It's just like you love to see that, like how much this role means to these actors.
Yeah. Everyone just did really good, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that just it just comes through in the show. It just feels like there was effort put in. It was taken seriously, even though it had humor in it. It wasn't like self-deprecating to
No.
the characters in the show. I mean, even like when they're kind of putting down Dunk or like showing that he's kind of a simple guy, they kind of then make someone feel bad for like looking at it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they show that he's good at something else.
Right.
And so let's give a little score here, and let's just get into some spoilers. I'm gonna go right out of the gate. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
And there are no true knights among you!
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was what it was. Perfect, great. And I just loved seeing a good guy but with some dynamic stuff and just a great character show. One of the coolest episodes I've seen in a long time. A lot of cool gravitas moments, music, setting, and acting was all top notch. I mean, this made me want to watch Game of Thrones again, and I had to remind myself the final season sucks. So, what do you got though? What do you got?
I gotta go 9.5.
Raised me to be a true knight, not with sword or lance, but with honor. And I swore that I would.
Hey,
I have a really hard time finding things to pick apart from this season, and I loved it. It's definitely become one of my it's only one season, so it's hard to judge it as a complete show in comparing to some of my other favorite shows, but what a heck of a start. Is definitely up there for me as far as a single season goes. 9.5 out of 10 is my rating for the season. I feel confident with it.
well, great. Let's spoiler alert, everyone. We're gonna get into it here now. Let's go through. Let's just talk about some of our favorite moments. Well, first off, let's just go. How did you react when it just showed just Dunk just shitting from behind a tree?
I kind of jaw dropped a little bit, like, because it was such an epic kind of beginning anyway.
It was kind of like, yeah, like he's carrying in the rain, and it's this funeral, and like you will be remembered, and that kind of talk, and
yeah, and
then the music starts picking up when he decides to go to the tournament, and then just all of a sudden he's just shitting, and like you see his ass, and you see shit spraying out of his ass.
I know.
Like I just couldn't. I was like, I cannot believe they just did that.
I want to know what I want to know what Peter Claffey, the guy who plays Sir Dunk, I would love to know what his reaction was when he read that the first time.
I know, but I saw, and it was great. Again, like I said, they showed like some behind the scenes HBO put out, and he seemed to, or maybe it was an interview I saw. I don't know, but he seemed to like it though in general, because I was wondering the same thing. I was like, I wonder if like he got into this because the guy was a rugby player and now he's an actor. So I'm like, I wonder if he got into this for the cool night stuff, and now he's like, oh, I've got to look like an idiot and shit behind a tree. But he seemed to like it. He seemed to think it was funny.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like. The first few episodes had some sort of like crass humor in the beginning.
Yes.
Like the second one was just Sir Arlen Pennytree just walking out, just slanging a third leg, taking a piss, and we just like the camera's just full on. It's not like angled away. I feel like in Game of Thrones,
it was comically large.
Yeah, it was just like large. It was like four hands.
Oh yeah. So then I started like thinking like, oh, at the beginning of every episode is gonna have some shock value comedy moment,
Mhm.
and then I think in the third one was when Egg took the horse out, and the horse just like
It's just shit.
was
Yeah.
it just shit. Like, okay, there's that one, and then it kind of stopped. I think.
Yeah, it stopped
Um,
after that, I'd say. And then
yeah.
that's when it was starting to take itself more serious, I think. Because it was at the end of episode 3, I'm pretty sure. That's when Arian uh assumed that the play actress woman with the puppets killing the dragon was trying to incite rebellion against the Targaryens.
Right.
Which again, this whole show is just about Dunk wanting to be a knight and wants to show everyone Sir Arlen was this good guy. No one even remembers him, or they say they don't remember him, and he just wants to prove like look, this is like he trained me, and I'm gonna kick all your asses, and you're gonna remember his name, you're gonna remember me. And I think too it was about him, wanting to prove he was a real knight. And but anyway though, yeah, I feel like after that's when the tone sort of shifted and they weren't doing just something kind of crass in the beginning. But yeah, that's what it seemed like. All right, crash thing, and then cool character episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, another
cool.
thing too from the first episode I thought was funny was when he gets to the tournament, Dunk does, and he's talking with the master of the games, and the master of the games is like, well, if you're not a real knight, we do this thing where you tie on a rope and lower you onto this spike, and it's called the Ashford fuck or something like that.
Right.
And you're just like, and like I was kind of scared. I was like, oh, like I feel like that would be a thing they do in Game of Thrones. I hope that doesn't happen. And then he just laughs it off, and he's like, "What do you think this is?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess. Let's go. Sorry, no, go. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, for me in episode 1, it's pretty cool to like have this character you find who is like totally like starting over now. He's totally he's trying to think, should I just go back to my home to where I was and try to join the Knights Guard, or should I go to this tournament, lie that I'm a knight? Well, we don't know that yet, but he goes and he decides to do that. But I like how when he gets to the tavern and he meets Egg, unless you've read the source material, you know who Egg is, right? Well, like if you've read the source material, you know who Egg is. If you haven't, it's just a kid that you've seen in the trailer that is going to be like his
Squire,
one of the main characters in this. But I don't know who he is,
Yeah.
Until I think it's episode 3 then that you find out who he is. But for those first 2 episodes, you just think he's this kind of.
Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know about it?
No.
Oh, that's great. I don't know.
No, I didn't know.
I think I think I'd seen a spoiler reel before I saw the show.
Oh, okay.
But they do, and the reel I saw was the Targaryen who was the maester at the wall in Game of Thrones, which I do remember the scene and when he was talking about his brother Aegon Targaryen, and he's talking about Egg, and so they clipped together. The reel was like that, showing.
So you saw a spoiler at the beginning.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, all right, but I didn't really care one way or another. But yeah, I already knew who he was then in the show.
And what you don't think of right away is when Dunk goes to the horse and he's by the horse as Egg is, and he's like, "Are you the stable boy?" Egg just stays quiet because I think Egg's calculating the situation.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to give away who he is. And then later on, I think Dunk says, "You told me you were a stable boy," and Egg is like, "I never told you that."
He just assumed it. Yeah,
it's like Egg had a gut feeling about this guy.
And that's what Egg's a good guy too, which I like. But he's grown up around this crazy family, and like his brother Arian is like the typical Game of Thrones Targaryen royalty type person that we get. And
Right. But I wouldn't say like overall his family's like because I mean you've
his
have
dad is kind of cool.
his dad's cool. His dad is like
uncle's
constantly
super
annoyed
cool.
with Arian, his oldest son. Like when
Yeah.
he's doing his antics, like
Yeah.
he's like a dad with like a teenage son who's just like super annoyed with. So can't you just behave, you know? And like I love the memes now because they've made like so many memes now of the dad just being like an annoyed parent and like a stressed out parent. And they've compared it to the I can't blank on the actor's name who dated J Lo.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck. And like they're like doing the Ben Affleck meme where he's like smoking outside, just stressed. that's Makar. He's stressed. And I feel like though overall he has good values overall, even though he has a temper and he seems a little bit more crotchety than Baylor. But I mean, you look at Baylor's is a fucking man. You know, I can't wait to talk about him a little bit more.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm just looking at the guy Makar Targaryen, the dad of Arian and Egg.
Two others, yeah.
He's been in a lot of other cool stuff I've seen, like the Huntsman and yeah, he was in Snow White and the Huntsman. He was in that other solid Netflix medieval movie too, with Chris Pine. He's been in a few cool things where he's like this warrior guy. I didn't even realize that was him because of the beard and stuff, I think.
Because of the beard, yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, I liked him. He was just kind of annoyed with the kids. And you can tell he cares too, because at the end when Dunk is like, I'll take him with me and we'll sleep in hedges and da-da-da. And he's like, he's my last son.
Yeah.
He's not even counting the other ones that are alive.
Oh, I know. Well, even after Dunk beats the crap out of Arian later in episode 3, Makar and Baylor are both like totally like, yeah, he deserved it, but like we can't have you insult the crown, so we have to like for optics, we have to do something. And that's, we'll talk about that in a little bit, like what Baylor's idea was and how that backfired. But it seems like though the Targaryens here, they seem to have good heads on their shoulders, minus Arian. And then the other one's drunk all the time. But it seems like Egg did learn some good values, though, from maybe his uncle and his dad, So.
Yeah. What else from F1? That's when he gets to the town, though. I'd say, I really liked when he's talking with like the whores of that one guy that he's trying to see to help him vouch for Sir Arlen.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they're picking on him, saying like, "Oh, what's a hedge night? Oh, it's like a night but sadder." And they're just kind of talking shit on him all the time. And one time, like the last time when he goes to see them, he's like, "Do you have to be mean? Like I'm just asking for help." And that's when Rowan Robinson's the actress's name, whatever her character, the one with red hair. So I don't just keep saying the whore, but the woman with red hair, sex worker, and you could tell like that's when she was like, oh, like and that's what I loved about the show is this like she saw his earnest and honesty, and he kind of checked her that she'd been just kind of probably just used to everyone being a POS and just being able to just talk that way and it doesn't matter and then she was like, oh yeah, like that's kind of, why am I being mean to this guy? He's a nice guy. That's what I liked. And then too, after Egg comes up and he gets like the campsite ready for him and everything, and when they're laying there looking at the sky and there's a shooting star and he's like, oh, it's good luck, and he's like, oh, is it just for us? That's what Dunk asked Egg, and you could tell like it was a special moment for him because then that's something he wanted on his shield. And I don't know, I just thought that was it's just a cool.
But there's the connection to who's the character in Game of Thrones, the tall blonde woman.
his descendant, right? That's
His descendant. I think she has
Brianna, right? Yeah, Brienne of Tarth.
right, and I'm pretty sure she has that shield
Oh, she does.
with the shooting star and the tree, right?
I just love that heartfelt moment there. Episode 2, like we said, it starts off Colby going out
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Another cool thing too is Dunk goes, the Targaryens come and everything, and he runs into some of the Kingsguard, and their armor was just so good, man. Tell me you didn't want that white Kingsguard armor, man.
Dude, that's fresh, man.
It was the drip.
Fresh. That's the drip of the time.
The drip of the time, man. I just love how everyone talks in this too. It's like he was like standing in the way or something. Like,
yes.
Well, get the fuck out of the way.
I can't remember who he says. He's like, Are you Baelor Targaryen? No. Then would you get the fuck out of the way? That's such a great line.
This is also one of the coolest moments too. This is where he I think he met Raymond and the other Fossaway in the previous episode, but then the Apple people, but then this is where he kind of starts to be bros. And oh wait, was that episode 1? Oh yeah, that was really. Let's back this up. Episode 1, another big moment I forgot, was in the tent with Lionel Baratheon, another main character throughout this, and he seems again like a sort of a dangerous kind of insecure Game of Thrones character at first, where he's just like, who is that guy? And you could tell he's jealous of Dunk's height and size, and Dunk just going around eating. He's just
trying to eat as much as he can.
He just wants to eat and hang out. And
dude loves food. Dude's a foodie.
Yeah,
he's a foodie for the time.
And then they start dancing, and it's clearly like Lionel is I guess insecure with his height. He's trying to be combative or something. I don't know, but he's like trying to stomp on Dunk's feet, and eventually like Dunk is kind of scared. He's afraid of like offending this lord.
Yeah, put you in such a tough spot. Like when a lord does that to you, and like if you defend yourself, they're gonna
they're gonna
execute me.
Yeah. But eventually he does. He takes a risk and he just stomps on his foot, and he's in pain. But then like after that, they're just bros. And I just
it's one of those great moments. It's a bro moment.
Just the dancing.
There are a couple bro moments
too. Is so. That's what a lot of bro moments in this too. Is why I think I love this. I just love their afterwards. He's got the antler crown on, and they're just sitting there talking.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh man. And just to say it too, the guy who plays Lionel Baratheon here, Daniel Ings. I loved what he did with the character in this, like his expressions and how he talked and his look. Everything was just so good, and he has some of the coolest moments and lines in the show. I don't think anyone's talking about enough. But I love his character. At first I was like, this guy's gonna be a douchebag.
I thought so at first too, but then he turns out to be a bro.
He
really
real
turns
bro,
out to be a bro.
Oh, man,
that's for sure.
So cool.
Yeah,
and the actor doesn't just so cool and so good. Like just you can tell he just put a lot of effort into it and just fun.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. So that was great. That was great.
All right. Back to episode 2 then, right? Yes. Oh wait, no. Let's talk one more thing. Episode 1 that I thought was really funny. One of the things that really made me laugh was when Dunk was talking with the Fossaways the first time, and the one guy was beating up his cousin Raymond when he met Raymond there the first time, and he's like, you got a sword, you could spar or whatever. And he's like, is that your sword? And Dunk's like, it is mine by right. And He's like, that's an odd thing to say.
Yeah.
It was an odd thing to say.
That was weird. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
man. That's a good. I love the writing. The writing is so good. Like
Yeah, it was just,
yeah.
and again, he's trying to be formal and say
But
that.
it's not.
And,
He's not a natural deceiver.
no.
You know, he's lying to these people because he knows, and we know at the end that he was never knighted.
Well, hold on. So they in the book, I think,
Okay.
I don't know if they even have that scene, but in the book of supposedly George R. Martin never wanted it to be clear whether Dunk was knighted or not. So the final scene, there's a scene where Dunk is talking to Sir Arlen, looks like right before he dies and right before in the location where he ends up burying him at the start of the show. And he's like, why have you never knighted me? And he just goes on about the penny tree story. Cool story.
Yeah.
And it looks like he dies, but he wakes back up and he's like, a knight always finishes a story, a true knight.
Okay.
And so anyway, though, after that, the thing is they're trying to leave open for interpretation. He might, by saying that, he might go and knight Dunk. But also he's kind of in some ways an unreliable drunk who's dying.
Yeah.
So he might he might die. I have to say, it does seem like the way Dunk is in the show, his drive to like prove himself as a knight. And like that moment where he's like, it is mine by right. The moment where he hesitates and ends up not knighting Raymond. A lot of those little moments does make it seem like he was not knighted.
Right.
But it's also just like maybe he was and he just doesn't feel like he deserves it. You know what I mean? And that's why he wants so bad to do this, is he wants to prove.
I kind of looked at it as the opposite.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like that he wasn't knighted, but felt like he deserved to be. Felt like he did everything he should have done, and that he was always told he'd be knighted, and that like it just didn't happen at the end. Was my interpretation of it. But like he knows deep down that he should have been, and he's gonna fake it or fake it till he makes it.
That's definitely one way to look at it. But they're trying, from what I understand, George R. R. Martin wants it to be left unclear whether he really was or not.
Okay.
So that scene was supposed to be ambiguous, but it does, like, if you didn't know that that's what George R. R. Martin did in the book and that's what he wanted, to me, it looks like the scene does just say, like, you're not knighted. You haven't been knighted.
Yeah.
But apparently that is what George wanted. But it does, throughout the show, you're just like, maybe he wasn't knighted. But then, like, the way he talks other times, it's just like, because he's so honorable and he doesn't lie, he doesn't deceive people.
Yeah.
Like when he's talking, like, I was knighted and Sir Arlen, and for a bit too, because I was kind of doubting kind of early on if he was or not. When he was talking about Sir Arlen, no one remembered him. Then I was thinking, did Sir Arlen never do any of these things? But then when he was like, I was a squire with him at that battle, I was like, oh, he definitely did it. And then when Baylor remembered him, then I was like, oh, okay, there's legitimacy here.
Which was finally an awesome moment. I didn't understand, like, Baylor was nice enough in this, but I didn't understand how awesome Baylor was going to be after this scene. But it was pretty cool that he vouched for him in that moment. But I was still kind of like, he's a Targaryen. I'm kind of expecting him to.
I know, right?
Be a dick. And like a lot of like he has this aura. His aura, like right from the beginning. Especially like when they go to the tournament and he's always sitting there and they show his facial expressions a lot. And they're interesting to read into. Especially when Aerion fights. Because you see Baylor's expressions are that of like concern, and like he just knows Aerion's going to do something dirty and cheap. So it's cool to see that, but it's not till later on we realize that he's the fucking goat. He's the fucking goat.
Yeah, but I have to say, it's in general, yeah, he's awesome for sure. I really like that the scene though, and I sent it to you, where because during the trial by 7, when Baylor comes in, he's like in the beginning and you're like, wow, this is awesome. We got royalty coming in, someone's stepping up, like these noble people, they're not all POSs. Here it is. And this is him putting his money where his mouth is. But then, like, the start of the next episode, the start of the battle, he's like, all right, well, they've got the King's Guard out there. They're sworn to protect me. I'll go fight them. You guys do the rest. Yeah. And everyone else is kind of like, isn't that kind of like pussy?
But you think about it, those 3 on the other side are probably 3 of the best ones on the other side.
Yeah, and so that's what too.
He kind of cancels them out, and then you've got
it does, but like I have to say, Baratheon's argument kind of sways me when he says it. When after the fight, unfortunately Baylor dies, and Dunk is upset about the way Lionel Baratheon's talking about the Targaryens, including Baelor. He's like, have some pity. He stood up for me. And he's like, no, me, the fucking apple boy, we stood up for you. He fought men sworn to protect him.
Right. Are technically not even allowed to strike him.
Yes. And fate doesn't support a fraud or something like that.
Big line right there. Big line right there. Love that line.
Well, shit.
Yeah, because it's cheap. It's like, how do you fight guys that aren't even allowed to fight you? But I also look at it this way.
Yeah.
I also look at it this way. Yes, he was going to fight guy. He shouldn't have died in the battle. It was,
yeah.
And he was fighting guys that shouldn't have fought him. But you think of the reason, his motivation for joining it is because he knows Dunk is justified. He knows Dunk did the knightly thing to protect an innocent person that started all this, right? He knows that, but he also knows he can't defend someone from disrespecting the Targaryen name. Mm-hmm. So he has to present some sort of punishment to keep respect in the kingdom, right? Which is why he came up with this plan to like, hey, challenge him to combat. He's too much of a pussy to actually do that against you. So he's gonna just dismiss the charge, and you're gonna be fine. And then like, it's like that's the he didn't have any idea that Aryan knew of this like ancient.
Well, if it's from the Andals,
code. Like he didn't even think that he would like be aware of that, right?
Yeah.
But he was, and so then he's in the situation like, shit, now I have to like go through with this, and Dunk's definitely gonna probably die in this battle, and he doesn't deserve to. This is kind of like my mess as well because I suggested this outcome. So I think in his mind, joining it, he's like, well, if I join this, then I'm not going to die because these guys aren't going to fight me. They're not going to be able to hit me. But I'll at least give Dunk the chance that he deserves because he's in the right here.
Because they needed 7 to fight 7.
They needed 7. Well, they too. But that
didn't let you go 7 on 6. So they had to make it even.
That's stupid, by the way.
Which is, I know. It's like, give me a disadvantage. We'll take you.
Yes.
Give me a disadvantage. We'll take you.
But that to me, though, even though, I know what Baratheon said at the end, like he wasn't really putting his life on the line. It's ironic because he's the only one because he died. But when he went into it, the idea was he would not get killed.
Yeah.
Or even harmed in any way. I get that line, but I do at the same time think that the intentions of Baelor were like really noble in that he was still standing up through all that complex web. He was still doing the thing to stand up for the guy who was defending an innocent girl.
And he's fighting his family. He likes his brother Maekar, and it doesn't seem like Maekar is that bad, other than he lets his shitty sons do what they want.
Makar's
like,
he's got
should
that
he
air of
really?
like nobility. Like he's definitely like a little stuck up.
Yeah, he's definitely a little
Like
stuck up. He's
born
definitely
rich,
he's definitely entitled.
but not like a bad person.
No,
Like I feel bad for him at the end.
yeah,
He didn't want to kill his brother.
no. That's what. Yeah, I love that scene. But like again, and still going on defending Baylor here. Like so, like why would you want to kill your own men? Like let's say like the King's Guard are there. Are like why would you want to hurt like those guys are always around you. You probably talk to them some, like why would you want, if you're a decent person, which he is, why would you want to hurt them? Why would you want your brother being hurt or even other people to hurt them? You know what I mean? So like, it only makes sense that he would be like, I'll take them. Like, then you guys fight all the other sons of bitches.
Right.
And like that way they're not hurting you. You're not hurting them. They won't hurt me. It kind of nullifies them, but it still lets the rest of it happen. Right. But yeah, in the same hand though, it's like, well, the rest of us are risking our freaking lives.
Listen, no, nobody's wrong. Like nobody's point of view is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the Baratheons and Targaryens already have a rift, between them.
And that's the
they don't like each other
thread.
anyway that much. So like, for him to already have negative feelings about it, yeah, but it's more of a complex situation than that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that takes away from Baylor and what he did to try to help Dunk there. It's crazy to kind of go, but it also doesn't take anything away from Baratheon doesn't take anything away from him. Just going on his own accord, risking his life for his friend, that's also amazing.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. And part of me wishes at the end there where he's like, dude, come with me. We'll fucking party. We'll go hunt.
I wanted to go, man. I wanted
to go. It just goes back to who Dunk is. That's not like Dunk. That doesn't fulfill Dunk. Dunk's not like looking to just go and have a comfortable life. Like he's searching for something like within himself, And
I think he doesn't want to be tied down. I think he wants to be able to go and just do good things for small time people and not just be like caught up in the overarching Game of Thrones thing. But yeah, so anyway, the Baratheon thing though, I don't know. I'm sure other people who read the books know. To me, this is setting up, even though this is like a show about a Dunk and being a good guy and being a knight and stuff like that. This first season, the through lines of like the Targaryens aren't as strong as they used to be. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of revolt. With that's the excuse why the dragon thing, and Lionel Baratheon's like, only good dragon's a dead one, and we know eventually Robert Baratheon does become king, and the Targaryens do not. They're not part of that lineage anymore by the time Game of Thrones starts. So I think definitely that's the through line. That might be the big overarching plot for the Dunk show is the Targaryen Baratheon revolt, maybe. I don't know. I haven't read the books, but just based on this first season and what I know about Game of Thrones and stuff, I'm willing to bet that's like the England is formed while Uhtred wants Bamberg in TLK. Dunk wants to be good knight, and Targaryens get killed by the Baratheons in the background.
Yeah, we'll see. It's,
and we can already see they've already kind of dirtied up the lineage. Like Baylor had the dark hair. We saw in House of Dragon. There's some mixing in now. Mm-hmm. It's not all just blonde hair incest anymore. They don't have dragons. Yeah.
Here's another thread I really like about Dunk. And I always find people who who animals trust, typically you can think like, man, they've got a good good heart, or they've got some kind of good energy about them. And I love that Dunk. Like the only the only things he talks to in like the first couple episodes really are his horses.
Yeah.
And he talks to them like anything else, and the horses seem to react. The horses that act in this are amazing too.
Horses. Perfect.
So there's a moment in, and this goes to another bro moment. This leads to another bro moment. He's got basically nothing except these horses, and he's trying to get into this tournament.
Oh,
But he needs armor to get into the tournament. He needs equipment, and he has to sell like his favorite horse, his white horse, the one. It was really like his horse, to get it, to just make enough. And he talks to the blacksmith, who ends up being such a bro. This dude,
Sweetfoot was the name.
He's kind of like, this guy kind of reminded me of like when you go to, I don't know about you, but when I bring my car to a mechanic, usually the mechanic's kind of crotchety, kind of like, not super friendly. This is a stereotype, of course, but like in my experience, just
Yeah,
that's how my mechanics were in my hometown. Just like,
I agree.
and that's kind of the blacksmith at first was like, and he told him how much he was going to charge him for it. He didn't seem like the nicest dude, but at the end of it, like, I think he saw that Dunk had to sell the horse and how much the horse meant to Dunk. And he like really gave him a break at the end and didn't charge him that much for this amazing equipment. The shield job that he did for him, and like
it reminded me of the armor or the blacksmith in TLK.
Yes, it's
makes
worth $8.
The sword, and he doesn't just do the bare minimum; he goes above and beyond. And Uhtred's like, what did he say? It was like, it's worth $8.
Yeah, he's like, I can't remember the exact. I think it was like, it's $6. It's worth $8, and he gives him the full. Man, love.
Also, too, speaking of that blacksmith, cool guy, and also to add on, I think again, he could tell that not even knowing about that he sold Sweetfoot, but I think he could just tell like, hey, this guy isn't just trying to get one over on me or whatever. This is a good guy trying to make
Dunk
it.
has that vibe everywhere he goes. He has that vibe, and like people like him. I mean, that's the reason he got so many guys to join him in that melee for his life. Like guys that like have. I mean, who's Dunk? They met him a week earlier.
I know,
and they're going to risk their lives for him because he's just. It's the same thing with I think why Baelor liked him, why Baratheon liked him right away. Like. Dunk didn't try to like go up and like charm his way into these situations. It's just Dunk. He's just Dunk, dude.
And he could physically intimidate people if he wanted to. He's like what, almost 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
So he's like taller than everyone else around there.
Oh yeah.
And just a big guy too. But he just doesn't. That's not him. And but also, you know what I was thinking too? The armor dude was so like just a fucking tank of a man.
True.
He looked like a Viking unit.
He was sweet. He was
when
sweet.
when we're like, hey, let's knight Raymond and let's get the number up to 6. Then I was like, and then everyone's like, well, I'm like, get that, knight that guy now. Just go knight, bam, and like. He's a unit, that man. Like
I was trying to figure out who it was going to be too in that moment.
Punching horses.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out who it was going to be. Who's going to be the 7th man? And that was such a great moment when
I was surprised it was Baelor. 100%.
Baelor came out. I was like, let's fucking go, dude.
And the music
he had
cranks.
already like the scene before when he set up everything and was trying to find a solution for Dunk. I had already said, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome. And then when he came out, I was like, come on, this guy, ultimate respect right now. But
I will fight for Duncan.
Yes. I was like, and I didn't see it coming, to be fair. That was a great twist.
Yeah, I did not see it either.
But that would have been cool too, the blacksmith. I liked how, I guess this was like another comedy moment when the big guy stood up in the crowd and just farted.
Yeah, that's what, again, They broke up. He was given a heartfelt speech, and when he did that, I was like, please don't like dip into some Marvel humor here. But then the speech picks up again, and it's like even more earnest. And what did he say? Oh man.
Well, he's talking. I mean, the gist of what he's talking about is like, all I did was protect an innocent person. You know, and like, and now I'm being punished for it. I mean, that was the gist of what he's saying. And so, like, he was saying, like, if you guys agree for the same like code, you should support me and you should fight for the same thing. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just so earnest, and he just couldn't believe. He's like, his honor truly left the noble houses of Wessex. I won't believe it. You know, he just can't wrap his head around like everyone else. And talking about that, I mean, another time he just couldn't process was the Fossaway guy, and talking about people coming to his aid and stuff. When he left where he didn't join them, and he's like, but wait, you said you would, and he just couldn't wrap his head around it. And I also was surprised, because it was a cool scene though, when they're in the tent and he's like, I will not let you die, fucking pale heads, you know, and I was like, look, maybe this guy's kind of cool. He's like, this is what Game of Thrones does. They make people like douchebags, but then they'll make that douchebag kind of cool. And but no, he pulls out at the end, and he had also said he was going to bring 3 guys, and he's like, and I thought it was last minute that he had joined Dunk, and then the other team picked him up before the trade was made. But no, this was false from the beginning. He was supposed to go to Dunk saying, I'm going to bring 3 guys. And that way Dunk thought his roster was full, but already told, you'll be a lord if you make it seem like you will go and bring guys, and we'll make you a lord. Yeah. So, and that's what too, I feel like Arian doesn't get it. I mean, we saw like the fact that he invoked the battle of 7 here instead of just challenging one-on-one shows he's a pussy. And he'd already thought about that. I'm willing to bet you he was like, I bet you now that this is going to trial, he's going to invoke trial by combat. I don't want to fight him. What am I going to have to do? I'm sure he had like some maester research. But we don't see any of that. And then like this scene is real quick with the Fossaway guy betraying them. But again, that was after he had already said, all right, instead of me fighting him one-on-one, I'll have 7 people fight. And that way I don't have to fight him one-on-one.
Right.
There's a lot more randomness that can enter in chaos into this battle. And so already he's got sort of an advantage where he potentially could like attack Dunk from horse. Someone else could fight Dunk entirely. He doesn't have to fight him at all. So he already has that sort of advantage. And then on top of that, he goes and says, let's make it so he's disqualified. Like let's say you are going to bring 3 guys. So he counts that into his roster. He shows up to the fight, and he doesn't have his guys. So he had done all this work, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine then when it finally like it rang, that bell, the horn blows, and he's just like, shit, like everything.
Damn.
I've been working my ass off to not make any of this happen, you know?
But you know what it was that told me he was a piece of shit? You know what the first sign for me was?
What?
When he fucking jousted the horse.
I know. And again, like Dunk was like, oh, surely that was an accident. Like he's a prince. Like, a prince wouldn't do that, you know? And his brother's like, oh yeah, that was no accident.
At the end of that joust too, and they cut scene, and it looks like they're gonna go put the horse out, but they do the angle. You can't tell if he's putting out the guy.
That's what I was like. That's a weird angle to finish off that horse.
They just don't show.
Yeah, but it was definitely him killing the horse, because then that guy was in the fight at the end.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what I was literally thinking the same thing too when I was watching this time. I was like, looks like he's gonna stab the guy.
I know.
And the whole crowd rioted, and like they were just like, cheat. They were so mad. Rightfully so. He stabbed a horse in the neck. You know? Jerk.
It's crazy, dude. That's what, like, in Baylor, you can see how much it bothers him because he's like, this riot is warranted because of what my nephew just freaking did is like, the dirtiest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the hand of the king. I have to suppress it, So it puts him in a tough spot. You have it's an interesting dynamic because he is a good guy. He is a good guy.
I would love that episode too, just in general. That where the horse gets stabbed, not because of the horse gets stabbed, but because I love that it just starts out Egg training the horse.
Yes.
And it's just like a fun, like, again, just like this earnest, fun thing. He just wants to be a good squire. Like, this is a prince, and he wants to be a good squire to this hillbilly knight.
Yeah. It's like he saw something in Dunk. He just like sensed something in him right away, which made him like, I'm gonna go be this guy's squire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like get behind this guy. It's like an energy he sensed or something. I'm not sure. But then he sticks with him and he tries to be the best squire he can possibly be. He trains his horse, which comes back to the actual melee when the horse doesn't go. And this makes me think.
I didn't pick up on this the first time too.
But this is Dunk's first real
battle, I think.
Yeah, like any like serious combat where he could die.
Yeah.
And he's shitting his pants right now too. Mm-hmm. He's freezing. But it's Egg's voice that like makes the horse go,
Yeah, he yells go. I didn't pick up on it the first time. I noticed it this time because I didn't know why they showed that scene they had that part the first time in episode 3 when he goes out and he's training the horse and he's going go and he's making it run. I was like, oh, this is just fun showing he's training, like he's earnest. He's like, here's the sword, and he like does a cool move before he gives the sword. Yeah. He's just like he's training to like hand a sword. He's like physically and I was just like, this just they're just showing how cool Dunk is, or rather Egg is.
Egg, yeah.
But him, I didn't pick up on. He was able to verbally tell the horse to run, and then the horse was running when he was saying go. So then when Dunk freezes and he yells it, and I was like, this time I noticed, oh, that's cool, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, man. That was cool. But yeah, I love that scene too. In the beginning with Dunk and there's so many cool little Dunk moments, him pretending to fight. Die, Blackfire bastards. Always. But you just think he's just a kid who's heard stories when in reality, it's his family who's been involved in all these things that he's singing these songs.
I love the song. Yeah, so that's why I love that episode 3. The whole beginning is like them just broing, like they make breakfast, they're laying on the hill. They're at the joust and they're like, yeah, like when we went to the joust.
Yes.
Yeah. And like a guy hands them a beer.
Yeah. And that's an interesting thing too, is this is before, I knew that he was the brother of Arian. He yells, kill him.
Yeah.
I
knew that, but I was still like, why is he saying that? I was still in the mystery about that. I'm like, why? Yeah.
Because he hates
his brother to die.
He knows how like bad his brother is, and I think he knows it'd be just better if his brother wasn't around. Yeah. It'd be so much better for the kingdom, like all the trouble his brother causes.
You know what? So then that story about like how he would go into his room, Arian would go into Egg's room and put a knife between Egg's legs. Oh my God, so awful. And especially too, he's a child, you know? I love that he told that story and he's like, I have too many brothers and maybe I'll make a sister and marry her. And it was awful fucking story. But then Raymond, who's there at the time when this story was told, he just got just kind of laughed because like he was in like full on, like when we're like complaining about politics and elite people and stuff, we have like the same type of conversation that he had about the Targaryens. Those paleheads are fucking incestuous bastards, and they do this. So he's already like anti them. And then he hears that they're like, again,
Yeah, he
just
said
proving his
that.
point, incestuous and trying to
Yeah.
fuck his own sister, but it's his brother. And oh my God. And he just kind of, I laughed
that.
when he laughed. I was just like,
I love that.
oh, man. Raymond,
Mhm.
so cool.
Yeah.
The best, bro. I think, I don't know. Lionel
Oh,
is
yeah.
close. Lionel's close. Egg's close. But I feel like
I think
Raymond,
you got to give it to Raymond because
best
Raymond,
bro.
because let's look at Lionel as a bro for sure.
Yeah.
But Lionel is a amazing fighter. And I think going into the battle knew he was going to be all right. Like,
And he wanted to kill some Targaryens.
and he wanted to. Raymond, the pure reason Raymond did it was to be there for Dunk when last minute he didn't have enough guys. Raymond was not a good fighter.
Yeah.
He saw his
But he did take down his cousin during the fight. I
Yes.
don't know if you noticed that.
oh
He,
yeah.
I didn't notice it the first time. It was so chaotic. I didn't know who was who.
Yeah.
Second time, I was paying attention when they cut to the other people. And like this time, I noticed when Makar was flailing his mace around that he hit Baylor, which I didn't notice the first time. I remember he was like, my son, and it was like they were holding him back, but I couldn't tell what was happening at the time. And I was like so into the rest of it. But yeah, he took down his cousin. He did a takedown on double leg, great technique. And he also at one time hit was it him or was it Lionel? But I think it was Raymond that hit Arian off
Yeah,
of
I think it was Raymond.
off of Dunk when he was on top of him on the mud.
Mhm.
So
Bro, through and through. He tried to return him his horse at the end too, I think.
yeah,
And
he tried to bring back Sweetfoot.
Sweetfoot, yeah. Bro,
I-
you got to give him bro of the season, I think.
I think one of my favorite moments was in episode 6 when Dunk kind of was talking with Lionel, but Lionel, didn't really support him feeling bad for Baylor. And then he goes and he talks to Makar. Makar makes him feel bad about it, even though he's like, everyone will say, I killed my brother. And he's putting it on
It's your fault.
Dunk.
Yeah.
Dunk didn't do this. Even if he incited the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Your son made the trial 7
Right.
and was being a POS, and you swung the mace that killed him. You could have just not swung your mace at your brother. That could have been a thing you done. But anyway, so Dunk was feeling bad, and he's just walking through, and it's kind of, I just feel like everyone's kicking him when he's down right now. I'm like, what the heck? He just won this tournament in a most epic way, and everyone's just kind of put him down. And then and he was like, everyone's saying I killed Baylor. Everyone thinks that, and you can tell it like it hurts him to say that.
Right.
And Raymond's like, well, I don't. And he gives him a hug, man. And they kind of played up for laughs that he was holding on too long. But like, man, so good. Like,
So
just
good. That's what he needed in that
best
moment, man.
dude.
He needed it. He needed it.
And then Dunk does not return the broness, in my opinion, when he brings out the red-haired woman who has been supporting Dunk now. And he's like, we're getting married because she's pregnant. And he's like, okay. And doesn't tell him that's impossible for her to be this far along at this point after one night.
Yeah.
And everyone says Dunk is dense. Let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about Raymond for a second.
But I mean, also good for him, and good for her,
Yeah, it's like
they're both good people. I hope it works out,
Yeah.
I hope it's not built on deceit, though.
Right. Right. Oh man.
We've been dancing around the battle. Let's talk about the battle.
I was just gonna say we have got to dive in. Now
Dancing
listen
around
to this. Listen to this. This episode 5, I watched it, and as soon as I finished watching it, I said to my wife, that might be the best episode of a show I've seen. Like a single episode. I said that. I texted you. I don't know if I said that, but I told you you need to watch it.
Yeah, you said it was amazing, or
I went
like
to work.
be ready to watch the best thing of your life, or something like that.
I went to work and told new Steve. I said, I said that might be the best episode of anything I watched. Later that day, it was the highest rated episode of any show of all time, tied with Breaking Bad
on IMDb, right? I think it was.
I think so. So I was like, okay, I'm not crazy in saying that. I'm not like overhyping it. Like a lot of people think the same. It was so well done, in my opinion. And I will say this, just talking about the battle sequences, it was some of the best filmed and choreographed battle sequences or fighting sequence. Because it wasn't really it was like a melee battle, I guess. You know, we're not talking about like a big army battle, but
yeah. 7-on-7.
7-on-7.
Call that a battle, you know?
Yeah, melee, yeah.
Melee. Sorry.
I don't know.
Say melee
anyway,
from now on. It was good.
But
melee.
the way they put the camera in like the night helmet, so it's like your eyes in. Man, it was so good, dude. They hype it up well too, like the scenes like where they show both sides with the armor, like in the mist. Oh man, that is cinema, dude. That is cinema, bro.
Everyone's armor was so cool.
Sick.
I love Baratheon's like gold, and he has the antlers on. I love the overtop fantasy stuff because a lot of times you forget this is a fantasy show. It feels like history, but then like people talk like, "Oh, I have visions," you know, and
yeah,
and remember there was dragons and stuff like that.
Well, that's another thing with the drunk Targaryen son, who he said he had a dream, and he was like scared of Dunk at first because he had the dream that he had seen Dunk and a dead dragon or something like that. And well, it kind of came true. But anyway, just not maybe the way he thought it would. But yeah, dude, that fucking. And now, by the way, going through this season, all the jousting scenes have been fantastic. But it's been kind of like one-on-one jousting scenes.
Yeah, watching the tournament as the spectator before that has been great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well filmed, horses going down, guys hitting each other. Just cool. Like it was just really
Can you
cool.
imagine the ticket prices for the trial of 7? I mean, there hadn't been one for how long? You know what I mean? Like to get into that event, like must have been insane, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like all the poor people were on the fence side. Does it cost money? You know, or is it like when you? I don't know if you've ever done this. Like if you go to like a football game or like baseball game, you sit up on the hill. You don't go into the stadium. You know,
I'm sure there was that climbing some trees to get some views. You know,
that's the nice thing about out west here. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to have my dog with me, but I want to watch this football game. I mean,
the rest of the people had to like
a hill, and you.
The rest of the people had to watch the highlights with Scott Van Pelt narrating it at the end.
Scott Van Pelt.
Just like,
and look at the technique, yeah. And it's a drawing. It's like, it's like this slow motion is like the drawing, and he erases it and pulls it up again.
And just when you thought Arian was about to deliver the final blow, Raymond comes in and says, "Not today."
Also, too, that was fair because Dunk had already been like hit like 3 times from other people on horseback.
I
said that was fair when
3 times?
A bunch of times. I don't know how many times Dunk was hit. He was hit a lot of times. But he was like he was fighting Arian as other people were riding by full speed, smacking him on the helmet and stuff.
For sure. Dude was getting lit up.
Oh, and I mean, so anyway, though, like the charge right out of the gate. So let me back up. Actually, the fight. I have to say, the first time I watched it, I don't think it was awesome, but I don't think I absorbed it all as awesome as it should because I was kind of hoping, like, all right, we're going to see Dunk is going to bring a reckoning. You know, like I love the line when I think is at the end of episode 2. Yeah. and Dunk is talking with Egg at the fire after all day. Like, no one's vouching for him except Baylor. You know, everyone else is like, I don't remember this hedge knight. What's a hedge knight?
Right.
And Dunk clearly reveres his former master knight,
Yeah.
Sir Arlen Pennytree. And they're sitting at the fire, and I love the scene where he was like, I will show them what his hand has wrought, you know, is the line he said. And I'm just like, oh, like, and everyone's like saying he's stupid and nah. Just because he's like this unassuming big guy, they all think he's dumb because he's nice instead of assuming everyone is bad. So I was like, we're going to see him kick ass. And he eventually kind of did, but he went in just so afraid, and he was getting his ass thoroughly kicked. I mean, there's no way about it.
See, I went in with a different mentality, though, because the way I was looking at it was like, this dude's going up against fucking 7 dudes from the best army in Westeros, who are trained since they were young to fight, and Dunk was like kind of trained by this drunk knight. You know, like, there's no way skill wise he can compare to these other guys.
I see. I was kind of expecting like Sir Arlen has definitely trained this guy, and he's just big. He's gonna. I mean, he kind of is and does. I mean, now taking into all that too. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it now too. Is like, well, he didn't get all the training, and this is his first real one, and nah. So yeah, the second time I was watching here, it wasn't as bad. Also, too,
I went in thinking like it's going to take a miracle for Dunk to win this fight.
See, I was thinking the opposite. So when he was getting his ass kicked, I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, I don't want this. I want him to be showing everyone up that he's not this fool everyone thinks he is." And but also too, I kind and it didn't bother me this time, but a lot of times in shows and movies, the final showdown's going on, and for some reason they just can't stick with the action. They're like, well, people will get bored. We have to cut away and show this other stuff, and that's one of the reasons I really love this show, Daredevil and The Last Kingdom. They just stick with it. They don't cut away. They stay in it. It's awesome. It goes through. So when they cut away and we're doing the flashbacks and stuff, I was like, what the heck is this?
Right.
Like
that was
we
my initial reaction. Initial reaction.
We've been building to this scene, and now, like, as soon as like it's getting crazy and interesting, like, gotta cut away. Don't want you getting bored with the action. And I was like, oh my God, this is so. But I feel like you really did need that scene though to see. Because now, taking into consideration, Dunk is not this super well-trained, rich, noble guy going in with the best gear and all the best training and all this stuff. You have to see how he won. Where does he come from? And
what's his motivation? What's his drive?
And that grit comes from him being this kid from Flea Bottom, so like the slums. In Westeros, and scavenging around, seeing terrible things, and then eventually coming across this very specific night. I think you did have to see this sort of backstory right now, so that when you saw, like, even though he's getting his ass kicked and he doesn't have this training and blah blah blah, like, he's gonna get up because that's what he's had to do
his whole life.
And
and that's
so
what, like,
this time watching it, I liked it a lot more. I have to say,
my
really
initial
did.
reaction was like, damn, I just waited all week for this battle to start, and then they're going to cut away from it and go to, like, and that was my initial reaction. Like, come on. But with how that sequence by itself, by the way, in between the battle, was great in its own right. To see the flashback, to see how him and his friend, how they were surviving, robbing, and how, like, there's this one guy in the town that always like picked them out and
He's some sort of soldier or mercenary or
Kinda,
something.
yeah.
They never really
And,
explained what he is.
right, and they robbed from him at first, and then so he's looking for them, and that turns out to be this girl decides it's a smart idea to rob from him again after their next interaction. This was shocking. He just slits her throat, dude.
Yeah. Well, you can
That
tell
was-
she had a lot of anger in her.
Yeah.
And she'd been pushing it too far, man. And
Yeah.
you in Game of Thrones, you know?
That was a true Game of Thrones moment right there. And that was so epic when Sir Arlen Pennytree comes
Sir
out.
Big Dick Arlen Penny Tree.
And he says, in the name of the mother. Okay. So there's a lot of questions, a lot of people questioning the motivation. Why did he come out of the bar and fight these two guys? Just so drunk, by the way. But why did he do it? Right. And I think because he said in the name of the mother, that's the part of the creed. It's like the mother's creed that the knight has to defend the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the mother's part of the creed. And so when he comes out and says name of the mother, that tells me, okay, he's coming out to defend this innocent guy, this kid, against these two
Delinquents.
delinquents. And dude is like so fucked up. But he still kicks
I
the
know.
crap out.
I love that. I love that they make him so capable, even though he's hammered and he's drunk
stops and vomits
yeah.
halfway through the fight.
He decapitates a man full one swing while he's hammered. That you know how strength that takes?
Yeah.
Listeners, when you've tried to decapitate another human, tell me, like, how many times do you have to crank that saw around before you finally get it off, right? I mean, we've all been there.
No, Steve, I think only you've been there. And I think there's something you're
Just
not
kidding.
telling us.
Sorry. Anyway, does that, and beats the other guy too. I just love that. And it wasn't like Dunk stepped in and did something. The guy took care of it all on his own, both of them.
And he did it because he saw some innocent. I think this is what I think. The
for sure.
is because he saw an innocent person being attacked by these guys, and then naturally Dunk just tries to follow him, and he doesn't want a squad. He just wants to be on his own. Sir Pennytree at this time.
He's just out drunk, singing songs by the fire, talking to his horses. You know.
Yes.
Like, if you just saw that guy, you'd be like, "That there's no way that guy is a great warrior." But we just saw he is. You know.
Right.
I mean, he has to be if he's that hammered and he beats two men on his own.
He's got something. He's got something. That's for sure.
He's swanging. Is why
Man.
Colby relates.
But he really doesn't want anything to do with Dunk until he like wakes up one time. He had accidentally stabbed himself. And I think he like realizes that like I'm at that age now, like I could really use somebody.
I
looking out
wondered
for
why
me.
they showed that. I was just like,
I think that was his motivation. So
That
that
makes
also
sense.
like makes me question a lot like of their relationship and like how good like Sir Pennytree was, because he like just hit Dunk all the time, and like I don't think he ever knighted him. It does look like they did have some good moments, but is Dunk someone he ever really wanted in his life, you know, or did he just like use him out of necessity? That's a big question in my mind.
I just think he was also, I mean, the fact that he's like protect the innocent, and it's not just like a thing that he like heard one time to be a knight, you know, he does it, he lives by it. I think he does like him. He's just a tough guy. He's just like one of those super tough dudes. He just gets on with it. He's a different generation, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he is, man. He's a different breed. Because that's even how like Dunk talks when he's like, he never complained, he never did this when he's like talking to trying to get other people to remember him. He's like, he just got on with it, and that's him. You know, he stabbed himself, and he's like, he sees the kid suffering there from stabbed in the calf, and then just drank a bunch of stagnant water the night
Yeah.
before, and he's just like, "Get up,
Get up.
I'm
And I like it too, the sound effect. It kind of echoes.
Yep.
And that echoes in, and all of a sudden we're back at the battle. We're back at the fight again. And dude, so at this point, the first thing that happens is Dunk gets a lance in his
Oh yeah,
abdomen.
I did not see that coming. Like first
It picks
charge.
it out like it's a splinter.
Ooh, yeah, a
Man.
gnarly. But yeah, I did not think he was gonna be Lance right out of the gate. That's for sure. But I mean, and then it quickly, yeah. After that, I mean, it just shows
He's getting sliced up.
Arian just getting after him, and then other people hitting him when they ride by. But
Yeah, he gets stabbed in the eye.
It was so like claustrophobic and scary. It just
Yes.
felt like if you just moved the wrong way for a second, something sharp was going to hit you. Is how
Right.
I felt watching it. I was like, sharp
Yo.
things touching me.
And listen, it brought me back to some of the crazy Game of Thrones moments. And with how bad Dunk was getting messed up here, I was like, maybe they will kill him here. Maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know the story. The season's almost over. Maybe he dies. I don't know. I mean, how do you survive all this? He gets the lance. He gets in the eye. I think he gets stabbed in the shoulder. I think his hamstring gets like sliced one time. He gets
I don't
stabbed
know.
in the hand.
Oh yeah, that one was gnarly. When he's got to pull it out. Oh man. After he blocked it, and so he's getting stabbed and blocked. Just yeah, that's what Arian was not a bad fighter for sure.
Right.
But
He's got skill.
he already had Dunk had already been lanced and then smashed around like 3 times, and now he's just like this unrelenting bee that is just poking and stabbed. The craziest. I mean, it was cool. I hate Arian for sure, but it was really cool when he threw his sword and then he goes over to Dunk as he's like stumbling, pulls it out, and comes at him again. I was like, oh my God, this guy, get him off of me. Get him off of me.
Right. But to be fair to Arian, Arian's a piece of crap.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
But there's that epic moment that, like, I think Dunk earns Arian's respect after they've been fighting for so long, and it's like Dunk still gets up and he gets his sword, and like he waits for him to get his sword, and they both do this on the chest. Do you remember that part?
I don't remember them both doing that at the same time.
Yeah, they both do it. Like,
I thought he like
I think
kind of
Arian
banged his
does it
shield. I didn't know if that was a sign of
It's like
respect
a-
or if he was just trying to hype himself up.
I think it was a sign of respect. Like, we've been fighting this long, and like I still haven't taken you out. You're still fighting. Like,
And Dunk still got in some good swings. It was just
oh yeah, no, he's gotten a few.
Arian was just kind of unrelenting, poking him. And then I feel like something was always from the outside hitting Dunk too.
Yeah, Dunk is going through it. It's insane, and
I
that's
have
why,
to
like,
And I have to say too, when the one point where he gets a good combo finally in, Dunk gets a good combo. Like he like blocks the arm and he turns around, he takes his sword right up the inside of his Arian's thigh and swings it. I thought he was dead then, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed with the show with that, because that's right where like the femoral artery is, man. I mean, that'll kill you. It's not just like everyone was like, oh, he hit his nuts, and that's because he was talking about hurting eggs nuts.
He must have just missed it.
But I was like, that's the femoral artery, dude. Like,
he must have just missed
he
it.
He dragged it up that thing. Like, oh man,
That was
like,
epic,
that'll
though.
kill you, you know?
That was epic.
But it was great move.
Yeah.
He needed that combo.
Yeah, he needed. That was a game changer right there. That was like, it got him back in the fight. I also love to. I mean, it's so cool. Like when he loses consciousness again, or like he's so weary and he like sits down and like the world's spinning, and it's like, dude's gonna die right now. Look
I thought
at
he was
him.
dead. Yeah, I thought he was dead.
Look at him. And he collapses down, and then you got just such a amazing. I think someday, maybe if it's not iconic already, I think it is. I mean, there's so many memes about it. Get up, Sir Duncan. Egg in the crowd.
I was tearing up when
Get
he was
up.
like, "Get up, sir, get up,"
And the
because
way-
you just see he cares so much for him. You know?
Yeah, and that stems all the way back to the first time he met him, and like this, whatever it is he saw in him from the get go. It all leads back to that, and like every experience they've had together has further like built that respect for each other.
And I think it says something too that he went to Duncan instead of one of the Targaryens when Aerion was going off, because Baelor's like, well, you should have came to me. He didn't. You do your service. I think it wasn't just because he was like, well, he's closer, or I don't want to go to my. I think he just knows Dunk is a good guy and he will do something. Like Baelor, maybe he'd stop it, or maybe he'd be like, all right, that's enough. Everyone go away, and he'd just bring the guards in. He knew though Dunk would go in and actually stop what was going on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now, this moment is so cool because he's saying, "Get up, get up, get up," and then they transition again to Pennytree's voice, which is like the voice, the ultimate motivation voice for Dunk that goes back to when he was a kid and he was
motivating me right now, dude.
It's like exactly. It's like the first interaction like they had that started their relationship from Pennytree, and it's like a core memory, I guess you could say, for Dunk. You know what I mean? That just, and he gets up and he takes everything he has left in his body, and then you have that epic moment from Egg. Wait, just in the right moment. And then what the other great part about this fight too that I loved is like once Dunk finally gets him to submit, gets Aerion to submit, instead of killing him, he drags him. He drags him to the front and like props him up,
rags him up to standing from laying
down. How humiliating is that? That's worse than getting killed, I think.
Oh yeah. And but the thing was though, he didn't do it to humiliate him. He definitely did humiliate him, but he did it because he looked around and he saw everyone else was still fighting, and he was like, the only way I can get this to stop is if everyone else hears him say he submits, you know, and that's what drove him to do that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of dude he is, you know.
Dude.
But how awesome was it? Because then this is when I was finally like, all right, here we go. This is Dunk. Like he got a good combo in. He got motivation. No one else is smacking him around now. Everyone else is on the ground too. And then that's when he just, even though he's almost dying, he swings, gets him in full mount, and just wails on with the shield, haymakers until he submits, man. That was awesome.
It just reminds me of like a bear or something, like, and like a hunter's trying to like shoot it, but like the bear can like take a certain amount of bullets like in the shoulder. Like that was like Dunk. Like it's gonna take a lot more than that to kill Dunk. You know what I mean? Dude's
and he had some legit chainmail on. He didn't just have some plastic Kingsguard on. He had a full thing of chainmail. How great is that too? I feel like they're always afraid to like show chainmail in movies. It just kind of like dangles off the shoulder, and they have like this weird leather stuff. Chainmail.
Chainmail, bro. I love Sir Robin. We haven't talked about him yet. He was a kind of like crazy knight who's, you know, he just wanted to fight against the Targaryens.
Oh, the one-eye guy?
Yeah, the one eye, and his chainmail covered his eye. That
his missing
that's
eye.
Right,
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. You know.
But awesome end to that battle.
Oh, we didn't talk about the beginning of the battle, by the way.
Yeah.
When Baratheon knighted. We mentioned it earlier, but how epic that was.
I love it was a little scene, but they gave it the emphasis it deserves. They didn't just show it to like, is Dunk a real knight or not? Because he won't. And cut away. They were like, all right, we're gonna show you him getting knighted, and we're gonna make it fucking cool. We're gonna make it so damn cool. Like the face of Raymond as he's looking up, and the face of like Lionel, and the voiceover with like quiet, and they cut the slow mo of Dunk riding on his horse, just big fucking dude in his chainmail, like so good. This is what I'm talking about. Like, even though they had like the first episode, Dunk shitting beside a tree, shit spraying out. Now we've got like this super serious, and they're giving it this weight for like a man is being knighted, and like the code behind it, you know. Yeah, for the mother, protect the innocent, and that's what this whole trial's about. Is he was protecting the innocent, you know. Yeah, so fucking cool. And cool Raymond, and they could have just made Raymond like this goofy side character, the comedic buddy,
right?
Which
but they have his development as well.
Yeah, and he's a good friend. He's not just the comedic relief. He's this good friend, and they see like he becomes a man. You know? Yeah. Oh man.
There's like a little detail in one of the scenes where they're in the tent where him and Dunk are talking. In the back, highlighted is a basket of apples, which is the sign of their family, right?
Yeah.
And it's I can't remember the colors. I think it's like a bunch of red apples and one green one, or vice versa. But there's just one apple of a different color, and that could just be a sign that he's just like the different one in the family. He's the one that's not going to deceive. He's not going to, just like his relative there who betrayed Dunk, you know. It's like maybe he's the pure one, you know.
But it's also, they called them both, you know, the other knights called them green apples, I think, because they're like new, they're green, you know. That's like an expression we have. But yeah, cool. I didn't pick up on that. I'm gonna have to look for that. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Pre-battle,
awesome. And then naturally in the sort of Game of Thrones styles, like just to make sure that we're not too happy, they got to go ahead and,
I know, right?
They not only do they do this, you know, locker room scene. We're now in the locker room.
I know.
Post game
locker room.
You know, the guys taking showers. They're just, you know, but Baylor comes in. Dunk and Baylor have a cool moment here. Baylor says to Dunk, "I'm in need of good men." And it's just like, oh my God, his future is set. He's going to work for this awesome lord who's in line to join the throne. He'll probably like end up being his right-hand man someday. Yeah. Dunk's life is fucking set now, dude. He is set until... Wait, what does he say? Like, he says something.
He's like,
"Oh, I can't feel." He's like, "I can't feel."
He was like, "My hands feel like wooden."
My hands feel like wood.
Well, yeah,
that's what he says.
Well, yeah, you could tell he was kind of talking, kind of quiet the whole time. And then the first thing I noticed too, when he was like, "Raymond, could you take off my helm?" And he was like, "My visor's cracked," and I was like, "He doesn't have a visor." And I think Raymond thought the same thing. He kind of just like, huh.
It's weird, yeah.
And he's like,
and he kind of just mentioned my hands feel like wood at like one point earlier.
But no, he did. Yeah. Well, then after that, he's like, my hands feel like wood or something like that. But then the thing was though, like that's when I'm noticed like, oh, he's something wrong with him, because it's like he's got some numbness in his hands. He thinks he has a visor, but he doesn't have a visor on to begin with. And we take off the helm. And he turns around, he's just got a big old hole in his skull.
And the look on their faces when they look at his helmet, and it's just buried into the back of his skull. And so that when they take it off, it's like it takes off the part of his skull and whatever part of his brain.
Well, I don't think it took off. I think they were like, oh, there's a dent, and then when they took it off, that's when I see this a big hole.
That's what I mean.
I think he was hit, and that hole was already in there, and I think it was his helm, like kind of holding it together.
That's what I mean. The helm was holding it together. That's why he was still functioning and talking. You know, but as soon as you took it out, all of a sudden, that was it. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man,
Bummer,
because
dude.
now he's not around. It deprives us all of an amazing character
Mm.
who I really liked in this season. I was like, he was so cool. So that sucks. And then it sucks for Dunk because this is the guy who was going to vouch for him. He was going to set him up. And now the guy who's going to be in charge, at least in this scenario, is the dad of the guy he was fighting. And it's like, oh man, what kind of influence? So we didn't really know what Makar was going to do. We didn't know him that well yet.
Mm.
Luckily, in the next episode, like when they meet, yeah, he does make Dunk feel bad, but he also recognizes that a big issue was his son, and he like sent him away. He basically did their version of like sending him to the military to like make him a better man.
Well, yeah, I don't know enough about Game of Thrones, but he's like, I'm going to send him east to the free cities, which I don't know what that is. Um, but it's just like, what does that mean? Like he'll just be causing havoc somewhere else, and you just don't have to see it. You know what I mean? Um,
But
but
I think
yeah,
he said something to the effect of like to like turn him into make him a better person. Um, but yeah, man, and then that was just brutal what they did to us with that, man. That's
I
crazy.
know. That's what George R. R. Martin just hates people liking good people.
I know. Oh, awesome character, Sean Bean's character, first episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Not for long. And then who was the son?
Rob Stark.
Rob Stark. Oh, he's awesome. He's
That's why I
gonna
was
be a
like, all right,
great.
this is now the hero. Nope, kill him off. Oh, okay. All right. And that's the window I was in for a while. I'm like, well, who do I like? You know?
Yeah.
Um,
So that sucks. And now that like leaves Dunk kind of rogue again. Now like he doesn't have a place to go again. Like he gets offered, but
I
he
yeah,
totally was going to join Baylor. I think.
oh, yeah.
He.
I think he would have. Yeah, he definitely really admired him. And I think that was like after meeting the nobles, I think that was the only one that he had met that like was what he thought of as a noble. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
It also makes you think, what would the Game of Thrones universe been like had Baylor someday taken the throne?
I don't know.
Maybe better. Maybe who knows? Who knows? But
We'll never know
we'll never know.
because George doesn't like good things. Um, I have to say too, the end when I first saw it, I was kind of disappointed because I was kind of waiting for, and I think everyone was kind of rooting for Dunk to succeed and kind of get his big moment, which he,
Yeah.
I mean, in a way did. But then it's
Yeah.
kind of melancholic after
Yeah.
Baylor's death. It's kind of like everyone's kind of mad at him. He's sad, and he does ride off into the sunset with Egg.
Oh well, this is very interesting too.
But like, and then the flashback made it seem like he's not a knight. Like it's to me,
Yeah.
if you didn't hear what the book was like and what George R. R. Martin said, to me the scene just looks like it clarifies he's not a knight. But
Yeah.
just only because of the fact I know what George said, and it's more vague in the book that they don't have that scene. That's why I was like, well, he does keep talking, so maybe he knights him
Right.
afterwards. Maybe.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm watching. I'm like, it just seems like everything's just kind of sad, and he's not a knight, and no one really kind of acknowledged that he is this great knight, other than someone who's dead, and
Right.
but like watching it again, like the big thing is Dunk going, well, I'm gonna take Egg and I'm gonna be good to him, just like my master was good to me, and maybe this will help the kingdom out. And
Mm-hmm.
like when he talks to Makar, and he's feeling sad, and he's like, could I just gave up a foot or my hand, and instead of doing this trial, and but maybe the kingdom will need my hand or foot one day,
Right.
and So I think it's still optimistic. I was kind of hoping more for like a big moment for him.
I do like how Makar like gives him the offer to
That was cool.
help Egg out, and I also understand. I totally understand. So Makar offers him like, hey, you can like help with Egg, but you have to go do it here at like some of our property, and which sounds like a sweet deal,
Free training,
free
paid.
training. You still get to be with Egg in your relationship, and like, so that's cool that Makar recognizes like the good influence that Dunk has. I like that. Because Makar, I think, sees how bad his one son turned out. Actually, all of his sons had turned out until Egg, because the other one's a drunk. So, like, I think he realizes like something I'm doing isn't right, you know. But I also understand that when Dunk offers him, "Hey, I will watch Egg, I will raise him, but it has to be on my terms. Like, we have to travel, we have to go out into the world." I get why he says no, because that's like his only like good son left. Like
That's what he says. He's my last son. That's what he says.
So I get it as a dad, like to not take that risk, to just send it off with his guy.
Yeah, some hillbilly out in the
Right.
countryside, man.
I don't blame Makar for that. I don't blame him for saying no. I want him to say yes, but I don't blame him for saying no. And that's such an awesome end to me that because like when Egg shows up, it's like, okay, Makar came to his senses, like, all right, I think maybe I will. And then they have that end credit scene where they say, hey, Egg's missing.
Yeah, and he's looking for him. Yep.
So there's already our plot for the next season is like, and now we'll see if Makar really does kind of become like a really bad character.
Yeah, if he's trying to hunt Dunk
him down, but then again, it's not Dunk's fault either.
He thinks it's all legit now.
He thinks it's all legit
because he got a legit offer. He went to him. He didn't straight up say no. He's like, he's my last son. I don't want him doing that. And then he kind of just walks away. He didn't straight up say no.
Yeah.
So then I could see why, like if he shows up, you might think, yeah.
Yeah, I just love how everybody sticks to their laurels here. Makar sticks to it, like I said, no. And Dunk also is like, well, I'm not going to accept your terms either, so we're just going to go our separate ways anyway. You know what I mean? Everybody stuck to what they were. And I got to say, I really like the ending ride-off scene.
Me too. Me too.
I thought that was so well done. I think some people could find it a little bit maybe cheesy, but I thought it was super well done. I thought it was kind of artistic. It was an artistic choice. The way they have, it's like the handing off a baton, really. Because now you have the three of them riding, and now it's Dunk who is in the position of Sir Pennytree. So Sir Pennytree rides off to the left. He's gone.
And Dunk even hammered a nail with a penny under the tree that he was sleeping under that whole tournament. And so now it's like, I'm going out now. And
I feel like that's a sign of like Dunk's psychology now too. It's kind of like, Sir Pennytree is now in my past, that's part of my past now. And now this is my future with Egg where we ride, that's pretty sweet.
And it was cool too, because even though Sweetfoot, the white horse, is not dead, Pennytree rode off on Sweetfoot in it too, which I didn't notice the first time. I just noticed this time when I was and I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it's like Sweetfoot's gone, he's going a separate way. He's not dead, but he's gone. They're moved on, and he's with Pennytree there. And so it was just, I thought it was cool, and that's what does make me feel better with the ending, is that. But yeah,
I love that like artistic nature, and a lot of the shots in this show. We've talked about movies such as The Green Knight and right, and what's the other movie? The Viking movie.
Northman.
How those two movies had artistic approaches, like a lot of the scenery, like even in The Green Knight, like it or not in the movie, like I liked a lot of the
Cinematography is good.
cinematography was really, really good, and I liked how A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has a lot of that.
Mhm.
A lot of beautiful cinematography, a lot of like
Yeah.
artistic choices. Even some of the, like when they were just sitting on a hill,
Yeah.
the way they decided to shoot it was beautiful.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
love
mean?
how gorgeous they make the countryside and stuff. It
Yeah.
makes you want to be a hedge knight and not a traditional
Yes.
knight that works for a noble house. You want to be the one that's out in the countryside, sleeping under trees,
Looking at the stars,
looking at the stars, man.
free. Um, it's awesome. It's awesome, and a lot of credit. Got to give a lot of credit to the cinematographers. I thought it was interesting. They added a song that wasn't like from like a modern genre. I thought that,
Yeah, I
but
didn't like that at the end, to be
no.
honest. I still don't like that
Okay.
because it kind of takes me out of it, which
Okay.
which is what I liked about the rest of the show. I'd be like, all right, here's humor, but it's not that marvelly Deadpool humor that like, look, we're breaking the fourth wall and we're making fun of ourselves.
But
And
the
then
modern music did that
the
for you a
modern
little bit.
music kind of like, oh, this kind of takes me. I wish they would have
Mm.
just kept playing that like beautiful, serene music
Yeah,
through the end that was playing
get
when they were
that.
riding off.
I get
Is
that.
is really what I wanted.
I get that.
I get that they're trying to show the tone is like we're kind of more lighthearted and we've got this guy who's naive and
Right.
but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the one thing it didn't make it a 10 was that,
Okay. Fair
It
enough.
was. It
Fair
didn't
enough.
make it a 10 for me. Was
But
that?
we gotta talk though about the drip that Egg had at the funeral.
The whole last
How,
episode,
how
yeah.
can I get that
His
hat, bro?
Targaryen gear with his hat.
How do I get that hat, man? And I love to he's in some ways almost like ashamed to be a Targaryen. I think because like what he
I
sees his brother do, so
know.
he shaves his head. He
How
like sees
how
the
great
peach fuzz coming in again.
Yeah. How
Then that
great was that
scene
scene?
when he goes in with the knife,
Mhm.
like he's gonna kill his brother while his brother's healing in bed. He's like passed out in bed, and the dad comes in, and that just gives you so much like of sympathy for Makar and like what he's dealing with
He's just
his
he's
sons.
like,
He's a single
oh
dad
shit,
who
this yeah.
who
Single.
is like his sons want to kill each other. One son's a drunk, and then then that's where you go to those memes on Instagram and TikTok where like it's just all like the scenes of Makar like this, like just like so stressed out all the time because he's trying to raise these kids in this crazy world.
Mm.
And
And how great was you talked about the acting of the kid who plays Egg.
Mm.
This was like such a good scene for me when like you can just see in his face he wants to kill him but he's sad. And then when when Makar comes over, puts a hand on him, he drops the knife and you can see he just
Makar
kind
gets
of
it, dude. Makar gets it.
the way he like relaxes though, like he just like you can see. I don't know how to explain. I could see the feeling of like that exhausted, like stressed, like washing over Egg as he just kind of like slumped and then he slumped into his dad. And I'm just like, I felt that. Like I could feel what he was feeling. Like it was perfect. And a kid did that. That was amazing.
A 9-year-old, dude.
That was amazing.
A 9-year-old.
I don't know how
kid,
you would
man.
do that without like experiencing that. And I feel like I never experienced that or like knowingly until I was like at least in my 20s, you know what I mean? Like
Man.
I don't know, man. That was amazing.
Man, he's so good. I
So
don't know.
good. And that's what too, I was like, the guy who plays his dad, fucking great. And which makes sense because he was great in that Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I think it's called maybe The King. No, it's not The Kingdom. Is it The King or The Kingdom? I don't know. It's one of the
Can't remember.
Netflix. Chris Pine.
But
Great. When he rides out in a battle and he makes like, I don't know what he said. He was like, kill them all or just fight or something. I don't know. It was amazing. His character.
But this is why we can criticize child performances too.
Yes.
Because now we've had this kid who was maybe one of the best child performance I've ever seen. You got the kid from The Last Kingdom who played young Ethelstan, who was fantastic. You have the kid in the show called Adolescence who just won an Emmy Award. I don't know if you saw that show. If you haven't, Steve, you should watch Adolescence. It's a mini series. He's a young kid. I think he might be 11 or 12, and he so. Don't give me this, when we criticize from other shows, because they're out there.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Anyway, so this kid deserves all the props. I'm super stoked for this kid's career. Obviously, he's going to have a big acting career.
Amazing.
Man, what a start.
And just even the scene in the cell when Dunk had just found out that Egg is Aegon Targaryen, and he was in the cell because he just beat up Arryn, which was great.
And he's so guilty. He looks so guilty.
Yeah, but like the look on Egg's face when like Dunk would say something like, "It's a really just bad luck we ran into each other," and like you can see it's breaking Egg's little heart, man. He's just like thinking like, this is my idol, and my idol's saying, this is bad luck we met each other. Like you could just see it on his face. And like the day before, they were just having the best day ever, broing out, watching the games, man. They did tug of war, fucking great.
But I also I know deep down Dunk has really strong feelings for Egg, and looks at him almost like a son, or
I think so.
Or
at least how he wanted his master, because he even tries to imitate his master, I'll clap your ears, boy. But he never does.
But I love how he immediately when Egg comes at the end, he doesn't say, oh yeah, come on. He goes right into the Serpenty kind of tone.
He's get the horses, do this.
Yeah.
Yep. You're not getting on. I forget what the names of the horses, but he's you're not riding Thunderstorm.
I love the scene earlier on when Dunk's everybody always tells me I'm stupid. And Egg's and he's and why do you keep asking me questions?
My problems are my own. It was just I think everyone's had something like that where the story just kind of ends and what happened?
What's the point?
I loved how they did. They didn't overplay it. The kid was waiting. You can see it. And it says, and what, sir?
Because I can't remember what he complained about. He was telling,
and what?
I know he was telling Dunk about his own problems, and Dunk
he was I'm short. I'm short for my age. Everyone always tells me that. And Dunk
it seems like Dunk's about to tell him this story to make him feel better. Hey, everybody told me I'm stupid, but you know what I did? No. And so Egg's waiting for this inspiring. But that's not really who Dunk is, Dunk. My problems are my own.
I love the little quick back and forth. It was what? What? And just real quick between the two of them, like that. And you could tell neither of them understood. Egg's waiting for the inspirational, but this is what I do, or this is the truth.
Yeah.
And Dunk is assuming the conversation was over. What am I going to do for you? Make you grow?
And there's moments like that, and so many other moments from this show. They feel so original.
Yeah,
they feel fresh. It doesn't feel like they copied something else. It's I can't think of an interaction like that.
No,
in another
it doesn't
show.
feel like that Marvel humor.
Yeah. That's just replayed.
It definitely feels it definitely still feels like Game of Thrones to me. It still feels like maybe this joke would happen in Game of Thrones. I don't think the shitting, we probably would have seen someone shitting in Game of Thrones. I don't think
not in that kind of moment.
Though. I don't think they would
start the show. The first scene of the show.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I mean. It just felt original. It felt earnest. It felt like the people who made it cared about it. You know what I mean? And
I hope it continues. I heard the director wants to make a lot more seasons.
I think there's a few more books. So
yeah, I would love that.
I don't know if I'm gonna read the book first or wait for the show.
I'm gonna wait now if they're gonna make more seasons.
I'm definitely gonna read the first book here, though.
I think what we've learned, I would rather not know what's going to happen, because that was some of the best moments. Not knowing who Egg was
Yeah.
in the beginning,
I
not
think being
knowing that
surprised.
Baelor is going to die, not knowing all this stuff, made those moments way better. And I think just like with Last Kingdom, it makes the books better because of course they have to take stuff out for the shows. They can't give everything. So I think it's better to go that way compared to like reading the books first and then being disappointed that they didn't use everything.
I think that's a way to go if they do a good adaptation. I think it, like, no offense, Winter King, I'm looking at you. I'm When they do a poor adaptation, I think it's better to have read the book first. Because then you can be like, no, this kind of sucks. Like, you can't be like, oh, this is kind of good. You know,
but how are you going to know? How are you going to know?
Exactly.
So,
but like this one, from what I've heard from the people who read the books, like they think this is good.
Yes. So, I haven't heard really many bad things at all about this show.
That's what everyone else too seems to like this. I feel like it's
united the fan base.
Yeah. I feel like there's some people that liked House of Dragons, some that didn't. I think most people don't like the last season of Game of Thrones, but there's some people who do. And you know what? I didn't think they were real, but they are real. I had a patient the other day. I was ranting with a coworker. She didn't like the last season either. She thought it was terrible. So we're ranting back and forth. I'm like, oh, what they did with, what's the even point of bringing Jon Snow back if he doesn't become the king, if he doesn't kill the White Walkers? Why bring him back? Just leave him dead then and make it another shocking death. I did want him to be in the show. I didn't want him to die, but he had no point after that.
I hated his outcome.
Other than Battle of the Bastards. Battle of the Bastards was awesome, but it wasn't integral to the overarching Game of Thrones. Right. Who's going to sit on the throne? How are we going to deal with the White Walkers? You know, it was just not integral to that. And anyway, I'm ranting about this. I'm ranting about other things. And she's agreeing. She's bringing up other things. And we had a patient on the treadmill. They get off and she's like, I think you need to watch it again.
Woo! Coming in hot.
She was pissed. And again, I'm not even getting that heated over it. We're standing there, we're talking, we're kind of making fun of it. I'm clearly saying I don't like it. And it's true, but like, I'm not getting like worked up about it. You know what I mean? But like the patient was very upset with what I thought. And I was like they made Khaleesi like crazy for no reason. I felt like there was just no build up to that. And yeah, she was like, I think you need to watch it again. And yeah.
I had a patient, she wasn't my patient, but we were talking about Night of the Seven Kingdoms after the season 5 came out, and somebody asked me like, about how gory it was. And I was like, oh no, this episode shows a lot. It's pretty bad. I said,
yeah.
And then like this other patient was like, oh, I love the show so far. This is like an older woman, kind of old, like maybe 60s. And she's like, but it's not nearly as bad as Game of Thrones. And I was like, or she's like, oh, but it's not that gory though. She said, I was like, oh, you must not have gotten to the new episode yet. No, I watched the new episode last night. And I was like, well, you must not, because it was pretty crazy. Like it was, they showed a lot. They showed like, and she's like, no, the one where the girl got her throat slit and she chopped off their heads. I was like, you didn't think that was bad? And she's like, no, that wasn't. I was like,
yeah,
all right,
the flashback. Now that I'm thinking about it, and you're saying it, probably the flashback was gorier than the battle, though, because the battle, even though it's violent, he's getting stabbed, there's blood. You're not seeing limbs chopped off and stuff, though. I mean, it's violent for sure. I'd say the
worst for me was the girl, though.
Yeah, I think the girl getting her throat slit was pretty gnarly. I mean, it looked pretty real. I mean, I've never seen a real thing of that, but
no, we did in Game of the Red Wedding.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying in real life, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But but it looked real to me. of what I would imagine it would look like. And then
It just
like,
happened so suddenly, you know?
yeah.
It seemed like it went from like 0 to 100, you know, like, geez.
Oh, you know what too? The I didn't pick up as much on Rafe and young Dunk, what they said at the time when that was going on. Because literally the whole time my brain was just thinking, when are we going to get back to battle? When are we going to get back to battle?
Right.
I honestly wasn't drinking in too much. So this time I was actually paying attention. I really like the scene where they're under there and he's talking about, well, maybe my mom will come back, you know, which again, I didn't pick up on. I thought she was dead. I remember him saying something about his mom and she's like, well, you're kind of stupid or whatever. And then she apologized and she's like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I want to be with you. And she's like, why? Because you love me or something? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, why?
Yeah.
I love you too, or something like that too, don't I? You know, like you could tell she was like surprised that he said yeah, but she obviously loved him too, but like was afraid to be emotional about it. So then I was more sad that she was killed because I just thought it was a girl he was hanging out with. I didn't know it was like a girl he loved.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was more sad than watching it this time when she was killed because I'm like, oh, geez, that was like the only one he had, and he loved her, you know, and that's why. But it made sense then why he would want to go follow that knight, then this random old drunk knight, because he just had no one, you know,
right.
So, but yeah, it was just I like that scene. It was
That's awesome.
She was like, "Well, I love you too, don't I?"
Yeah.
she like said, it was just funny.
Oh, that's cool, man. It was a great episode. It's one of the.
Let's see if there's any other great quotes I wanted to see. I love that show them what his hand is wrought line. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, another one too was one I liked. Dunk didn't. He was kind of upset. Someone asked him to like win a fixed match.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh yeah. When Egg was episode 3 here, the bro beginning here, Egg was like, so is it odd I have black hairs growing out of my stones? And and Dunk was like, it's odd you're telling me about it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yeah.
I just love that, like a little scene like that.
Yeah.
Also too, when they're in the tent, Baratheon's singing a song about Alice the cripple who sticks her hand up men's asses. And it turns into the story they're talking about, like, you think her really name was Alice, and Dunk's like, probably not. They probably just picked Alice because it works better for the song, essentially. And Egg was like, well, that's kind of sad, isn't it? Like, the woman that they have this kind of awful song about, but they're kind of honoring her. They don't even use her real name. And Dunk's like, if there's a lesson in that, it's too smart for me to learn or something. and then eventually it turns into Egg is like, her name is Hope. It belongs to all who invoke it. Like saying that, like, I think like the gist of the story was, even though her real name is forgotten, who she was, even though she was crippled, she still helped people. And she's like, she still lives on. And it was like, and he was kind of philosophical about it. He's like, her name is Hope and belongs, and like you see like Dunk's like, oh yeah. And it was just like one of those things that's kind of getting him ready for the rest of the experience he's gonna have.
Yeah.
Oh, what else?
No, I think
that's it. I think we got everything.
we covered it, man. Yeah. Felt good to have a show to be this excited about again.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome, and huge props to everyone involved in the show. Like, it seems like you made a show that pretty much all of us can get behind.
I feel like it's rare nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, rare. Yeah,
For a big show to come out and just everyone like it. Or
Yeah.
they're just like, not for me, but they don't hate it, you know?
right. So, big props. Thank you, and yeah, tell
And
us
if
what
you
you
made-
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you made it the whole way through, thanks for listening. Tell
Thank
us what you thought about it. Tell us your favorite moments. Tell us if we got something wrong. Let us know. But otherwise, yeah, we've got some TLK stuff coming out. Just needs edit. It's gonna be more of a video with a lot more clips from the show and stuff. So watch out for that when it comes out. Otherwise, yeah, anything else there? Sir Arlen?
No. Just curious to hear what other people thought, and yeah, great show. Great show.
Well, thanks for listening. And it's like we always say, goodbye.
Bye.